Welcome back to OI Live, second meeting of the season, and we are going to talk about traveling. Let me share this real quick because I just want to look at our schedule for the season. Last month, we talked about basic interference. That is up and posted on YouTube if you want to go and check it out, if you were unable to attend. Today, we're going to talk about traveling. And then you can see the others as the months come up. So traveling today, I didn't have anything specific in mind, but I did have a few people make some comments on YouTube on some of the other videos that I had up asking about the step through. And I thought that's a good, I don't have that many because that's not something I've been looking for at this point, but I did find some. So I would like to start with the step through move. Does everybody know what the step through move is? Okay. Let's start with this one. Not the greatest video quality, but hopefully you can see it okay. Here we go. All right, we all see that? I'm going to play it fast one more time, and then I will slow it down and we'll talk about it. All right. Clearly has a pivot foot at this point, right?
Yes.
Looks like the left foot. Being defended, what's he going to do? He jukes his defender and steps with his non-pivot foot, right? But then he picks up his pivot foot after he steps, right? So that is legal because we can always pick up our pivot foot. When does it become a travel?
If he brings it down before the ball's released.
If he brings it down. So just the fact that he's stepping forward and making that lunge move, he steps through, that's legal as long as that foot doesn't come back down. Everybody sees that, yes?
Correct.
Yes.
Let's look at another. Again, the video on that is not great. Here's another one. The video is a little bit better on this one. All right. It's a little bit better of example too. I'll play it fast again since that's what we do. He took an extra step. How is that not traveling? Pivot is the left. And then he stepped forward with it. Why isn't that traveling?
Because his left foot didn't come back down before the shot.
All right. So he establishes his pivot foot, which is the left. We all agree with that, yes?
Yes.
Okay. The rules say that we can pick our pivot foot up. So he's stepping onto his non-pivot foot right now. Right?
Correct.
Yes.
And he's picking up his pivot foot, which is still legal. And even though he's stepping totally forward with that pivot foot, he's taking a complete step forward. He did not actually step because he did not put the foot back down, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is legal. And that is actually, this kid actually really performs this step through move really well. Easy bucket. The lead looks like he's wondering if that's legal or not.
We do that sometimes.
Wake up.
I got one more step through here. This one's not as great of an example, but because he passes the ball. But here it is again. Right? Same motion. We see that.
Yes.
Yep.
So again, when determining whether these moves are travels or not, and I'm going to hopefully say this a lot all night, we need to know what the pivot foot is. So he comes in, the player comes in, establishes his right foot as the pivot foot. Yes?
Yes.
Steps through his defender and takes his pivot foot off the floor and steps again. So it's like he's taken 2 steps, right? 1, 2, through. Now he passes on this one, but because that pivot foot is allowed to be picked up and he doesn't return it to the floor, that is legal. We all agree with that, yeah?
Yes.
Really no different than a layup.
No, it's exactly right. It's really the same thing. It's just they're holding the ball. They are, in a layup you're holding the ball too, but you're dribbling, you're moving, right? You're pivoting, and then you make that lunge step forward, and it looks a little more awkward. Awkward's the right word, but people think it might be a travel. But as long as we know what that pivot foot is, especially when they're pivoting several times, it's easy to know. And then we know that they can pick it up and put it back down. Good. I might do a rule review on that if I can find a few more step throughs this season, because I think that would be a good video to put together. But what I want to go to next is something I showed at some clinics I did this summer. Was traveling that involves falling down, getting up, or flipping over. When the ball's on the ground and the kids are all going for it. I found some good videos on that, so let's take a look at some of those. Here we go. What do you think?
He traveled first.
He traveled?
He has possession of the
Anyone
ball and
say he
jumps to his
didn't
knees.
travel? I'm sorry, what was that?
He had possession of the ball and he jumped to his knees.
Okay, and that's good because we're not talking about the foul call that he had. We're talking about that whole on the ball, getting up kind of action. Was that action traveling?
Did he get up, Josh, or did he just stay on his knees?
That's a travel.
So was that you, Jim? It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But-
it was. I wasn't sure, and I hadn't re-seen it yet, so I wasn't sure if he had actually. Was he still on his stomach and on his knees?
The name of this file in my folder, Jim, is Did He Attempt to Get Up? So
Yes.
that is really the question. And I'm not going to say yes or no. I mean, I'll tell you what I think, but I'm not going to say yes or no. It really comes down to the judgment of the official. If they think that that is an attempt to get up, because it is a traveling, once you're holding the ball on the ground, I paraphrase, once you're holding the ball on the ground, it is traveling when you attempt to get up. You don't have to actually get up. You simply have to attempt to get up. But can you pass the ball like this? I know you can barely see the guy, but
Yes.
can you pass the ball like that?
Yeah, easily.
Can call timeout.
Easily? Boy, you guys are better players than I ever was.
Well, that's for sure.
It's
That's without question.
I think it's a little difficult. You need a little space to be able to pass. Now, that might not be fair to say. If you're going to jump on a ball, then you got to take care of it by jumping on the ball. But my point of bringing that up is, should we allow a little bit of up to let him be able to pass the ball.
No.
Yeah.
Because he really wasn't attempting to get up, was he? He was attempting to pass the ball.
That's the ball.
Yeah, but to get to his knees, he's advancing his position. And he can't. I mean, once he's on his belly or on his back with the ball, I've always known once he tries to get to his knees, you blow the whistle.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what I think. And again, I don't think this is written anywhere, even in the case book, that if you go to your knees or if you, because I'll say this because if you're on your back with the ball, they allow you to sit up without penalty. Sitting up is not an attempt to get up. So isn't then going to your knees not an attempt to get up? It's like sitting up on your back. Yes or no?
I could see that.
Yeah. Yes and no.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
I think it's a very fine line. I think if he does, this might be maybe more. He gets to his knees and then he pulls his knee back so he can roll it through. That might be more than I would allow, but it's a very fine line as to was he attempting to get up or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you were to call this a travel, and it looks like the coach behind the official on the bench is maybe looking for a travel there. He's pointing. But if you call it a travel, you probably won't get any grief for it. And if I'm being honest, I probably have a travel on that.
Right.
Because I do think it looks like he was attempting to get up to be able to pass the ball. But again, I give you the equation of I can allow to sit up. So how much are you going to allow me to I can't sit up, invert, with my stomach the other way. So I think we have to allow a little bit for the kid to be able to pass the ball. Does that make sense? I think it makes perfect sense. All right, next one. Here we go. This play's a mess.
Scrum.
Here we go again fast, and then we'll slow it down.
He rolled over.
All right. So let's just break this down. First of all, I heard a lot of chatter, but who thinks this is a travel?
I do. Jim.
Got a couple? Do we have any that think that it's nothing? These officials all thought it was nothing.
Live action, I think it's probably nothing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nothing. What do you got?
Not sure he has possession. I mean, he's trying, but the ball's loose in his hand.
No possession.
But
Yeah,
the
he
ball-
does, but he doesn't really have possession of the ball.
Possession.
All right. Let me just, we'll rewind. We'll zoom in and I'll have this marked out here.
Two hands right
He's
there.
right here. He's holding the ball. It's hard to see, I know, because he's behind that player, but he is holding the ball on his stomach. He's got two hands on it. Okay. So he now, according to the traveling rule, is holding the ball. And what does he do?
Turns over.
Is he still holding the ball?
No.
Yes.
Like
Yes, he is. He's fumbling a little bit in his lap, but he's totally in control of that ball. He flipped over to his back.
Yeah, he's got control of it.
If he goes from back to front or from front to back, that's a flip over. Do we agree?
Yes.
Okay, so that should have been a travel right there. Now, I agree with some of you when you said during game play, you got nothing. It happens quick, and especially when there's players diving and grabbing and jumping, and it's hard to see that he actually flipped over because you're looking for something else. Correct?
Yes.
Except these officials missed it. Because what do we have here?
Hold.
The black player is grabbing the white player's arm so he can't get to the ball. That is a foul. Do you all see that?
Yeah.
You cannot. And this is one thing that I don't like about these held balls. He called it a held ball. We allow too much for these players to grab and hold and wrap around to get to that ball. We need to call more fouls on plays like this because they're jumping on top or they're grabbing arms. This was a foul. If you're not going to get the travel, you got to get the foul. Do we all see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, I'm not faulting these officials because those plays are tough. Everyone's coming in, everyone's, falling and flipping and grabbing, and the ball is, to someone's point, was bobbling a little. Does he have possession? So those are all things we have to consider, and it happens so fast. We have to make those decisions, but I think we got to get better at seeing what happened. Shall we do another?
Go back.
Shall we
If
do
you
another
go
flip
back,
over? You
I
want?
don't think.
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I think you have dual possession, and not that you would call that, but I think they're giving him a chance to gain possession, and that's when the rollover occurs. That's why I believe he didn't blow the whistle.
Right.
If you see, they both kind of have the ball just before the guy rolls over.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
instead of calling a held ball, I would not do that, particularly in a varsity game. I'm going to give it a chance. It's not getting out of hand, but
Right.
one guy's strong. I
Wait a
don't
minute,
think
dual
that point
possession,
is a travel.
isn't that a held ball?
I agree with Mike on that. That's why they were just letting it go on. That's what happens, and you've seen that, Josh. That's what happens. Let him play. As long as the guy's not jumping on top of the guy, let him play. Then they end up having a held ball. So, whatever.
Then they end up having a held ball after the kid grabs his arm and
Right.
pulls it away.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true.
He missed a foul.
So, Josh, a question. They're not on the ground. So 2 players firmly have their hands on the ball. And like some are saying, hey, let them battle it out. Let them see if one can possess it.
Okay.
Short period of time. But in the process, they're moving their feet.
I see. I see what you're saying.
I've seen it a dozen times. What do you
Okay.
call
If they're both moving their feet, or even if just one is moving their feet.
it? Let's start with one.
Okay. If they're both holding the ball, I'm not going to call traveling on one player. They're both holding the ball. Right? So you got to go held ball. Or
Agreed.
what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it play out. I'm not looking at the feet. I don't care if they're moving the feet. They're trying to get possession of the ball. Now, if it lasts longer than a second and a half, then you can say, okay, this is going to get out of control, held ball. But if they move their feet a little bit and there's some tugging, I'm going to let that 1 or 2 tugs go to see if one can grab it from the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Travel!
Clearly, the guy recording thought it was a travel.
I really want to jump in on this one.
Well, what do you think, Frank?
It looked like he was trying to get possession. I got nothing. Just seeing it one look without another replay. He's just trying to get possession there. I don't know. I got nothing there. We can take a look at it slowing down again.
How about the step through?
Step through. Let me see. What's step through? What?
Did he have a step through?
Hey, watch.
Step through. Step through.
Okay, hold on.
There it is. There it is.
That's not really a step through. I don't.
Oh, you're talking about that guy? No, he's fine.
Yeah,
There's
it's fine.
nothing
Yeah,
there.
I think it's fine.
Nothing.
No, it's
Maybe a
legal.
foul.
It's
Maybe a
legal.
foul.
I'm just saying I don't know if that would be considered a step through.
Okay.
Semantics.
Yeah.
All right, semantics.
I want to see this play. Here we go. Bang.
Falls on it.
Not holding the ball.
Doesn't have the
Is he
ball.
holding the ball?
No.
No.
He's falling.
Against the floor?
He's
Trying to
pushing the
use it as
ball.
leverage.
He's pushing the ball down, or maybe he's just landing on the ball, trying to gain control as he's landing.
Correct.
He's got no
Agree.
control. He's falling.
So it can't be traveling, because in order for it to be traveling, you must be holding the ball. And then once you're holding the ball, if you touch the floor with anything other than a hand or a foot, it's traveling. But he wasn't holding the ball. correct?
Yes.
Still doesn't have possession. He rolls over. And
Yeah, I think once he rolls over, he has possession.
Oh, wait a second. You caught
No
that before I
possession.
even got to show it.
He doesn't have it yet. Now he's got it.
Oh, he's on his side and he rolled.
Did he flip over?
No.
Legal. I'll hang up and listen.
Wow, you
he's-
guys are
he's
very.
legal. That is a good.
Well, that's a good
Not fair
play. That's
play.
not.
He doesn't have the ball here?
No.
No, not yet.
He doesn't have control.
Right there he does.
Now he's got it.
Yeah, he's got.
Now
All right,
he
so if you say he has control here, okay, let's just say we all agree, whether you disagree or not. We all agree this is where he actually is holding the ball because remember the rule doesn't say control. Oh, he's got to control the ball. The rule says it's traveling is moving a foot or feet in any direction in excess of prescribed limits while holding the ball.
Well, if you're holding the ball,
Okay.
if you're holding the ball, you have control of the ball.
Okay, but one could make the argument that, well, he was in control. He landed on it. He's controlling the ball there. He's landing on it. But if he's not holding the ball, while I'm dribbling the ball is not holding the ball, right? So my point is the rule book specifically says holding the ball. So let's all agree this is where he's holding the ball. Did he flip over?
No.
Holding the ball on his side.
He went from side to back. Is that a
Go to the
flip
case
over?
book. Go to the
Yeah.
case book. This is already decided. It's not a travel.
That's not a travel.
4.5 situation B.
That's not a travel.
You have it up. Read it.
Once A1 has the ball and is no longer sliding, he's still sliding.
He's
here.
sliding right now.
Once he's
Mike.
no longer sliding, the player may not roll over, but he's sliding right
He's
now.
sliding.
Still
Look,
moving.
he gets to the top of the circle
I agree this slide is
right now.
momentum.
Right. He dove on the floor. He's gonna slide.
Okay, but, and I'm going to see if I can find this because I have one that's more deliberate. But sliding and rolling over are two different actions. And if my momentum is causing me to slide, but yet I deliberately roll over while I slide, I think that's still on me.
Yeah.
Just because my momentum makes me slide does not mean I have to roll over.
Yeah, I don't. He's
Is
trying to get control of the ball.
Now, I don't disagree. If we say this is where he's holding the ball, from side to back is not a flip over.
Right.
It would have to be from side to the other side. So I would agree this is not a travel. In fact, real time, I think this is a good no call by these officials because it's too much. To Frank's point, I think he's trying to get the ball. He's falling on it. He gets rid of it right away. I think this is a good no call. But as the rule is written, we have to be aware of what actually happens. It's not a travel when he falls on the ball because he's not holding the ball, right? We all agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a travel if he flips over while holding the ball, but when is he holding the ball? We need to know when he's holding the ball. And if, as officials, we say he's holding the ball not here,
Not yet.
but here,
Yeah.
then I don't think that's a travel. And I like using, it's not in the rules book again, but I like using the two-hand method, philosophy, however you want to say it. Once I have two hands on the ball, I'm holding the ball. Am I able to hold the ball with one hand? Sure, of course I am. I can even pin it. But especially when I'm moving or the ball is loose, once I have two hands, there's no doubt that I'm holding the ball. So that's kind of what I look for when I look to call traveling. I look for, does he have two hands on the ball? Right? And again, it doesn't encompass everything, but it will, I think, keep you out of trouble because when you call little travels, ones that are on the fence, then that's when guys start to get upset, thinking you're calling stuff that you shouldn't be calling. Let me see if I can find this. Here, this one.
That's a good hustle play.
This one. Did you see that in the corner?
He's still sliding, but yeah, he's sliding and rolling over.
In this play, if you watch, and before I play it slow, The rollover was due to his momentum. He dove on the ball, landed awkwardly, and I think he rolled because of his dive and not because he intentionally was trying to roll. Would you agree or disagree?
Hard to see.
Either way, I'm not calling travel on that.
It is hard to see.
Yeah.
But I think this one, I'm not disagreeing with the other video, but I think this one is way more of a, yes, the kid dove in the ball and his momentum caused him to roll. If you think it's his momentum causing him to make an action, then you cannot penalize a player for that action. Do we agree with that statement?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what coaches call a good hustle play. Doesn't make it legal or illegal, right? A kid can hustle and still do things that are illegal. But that's what they're talking about. If they're hustling and they're trying to just play basketball, we need to, I think, allow a little bit more, not necessarily allow, but understand what action is, why that action is occurring. All right, let's do the next one.
Travel or out of bounds. Oh, we get a timeout.
Did you hear? Yeah, you're wrong on both those cases, Frank. Did you hear that the fan yell for traveling? Because there's always somebody. So what do you have? The center official who's right by the coach called the timeout, but was it a travel?
No.
Always sliding.
Timeout white.
If he crossed the boundary line, that's about it.
He's diving on the ball, a loose ball, right? And we just said if his momentum causes an action, we can't penalize him for that action. Did that slide or turnover, did he do that deliberately?
No.
No.
No, that was all momentum. That is a good no call on the travel.
All right, can I ask something here, Josh? Seriously. So if we have possession from the side, so take all these scenarios, kind of just lump them together. So if we have possession on the side, they can kind of flip then on their back, and this is legal. Take the out of bounds out of the equation, all that. Like if a player jumps on the ground and he has possession on the side, right? He can keep going then?
So the rules say, the rule book, it says once you are holding the ball,
Okay.
and you're on the floor,
Okay.
okay? I'm paraphrasing, obviously. You cannot attempt to stand or get up,
Right.
okay? So rolling over, flipping over is not listed in that rule. But the casebook has a play where it says the kid rolls over, again, paraphrasing, it's a travel because if you roll over, or maybe it says flip over, that is considered an attempt to get up. So my comment on that a little bit further is, well, what is, and I've had this discussion, believe it or not, with other members, what does over mean? Over is from one side, where's the camera? From one side to another. So if he gets it on his side and goes to his back, that's not over, is it? It would be side to side. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So back to front to back, or side to other side. That is all flipping over. But if it's a quarter of a flip, that's not a flip over. It's a quarter flip.
Yeah, because in that previous video, going back to that, he gets possession on the side and then he goes on his back from his momentum. I'm just trying to get clarification. Thank you.
Yeah, both those plays were from side to back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think all three of them were. Well,
Yeah.
the one was a full flip, but we're saying he didn't have
He didn't have
possession until the side.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Let's go back to this real quick. Was he out of bounds? Should it have been out of bounds, or was the timeout legal?
Timeout was legal. Coach hollered for it as soon as he got possession.
Here we go. Does the kid have possession?
Yes.
Barely.
Okay, he has possession. Now look at the coach. Ready?
Ignore that. Got to ignore that, Josh.
No.
Ignore the request for a timeout.
Absolutely.
Why would you ignore that?
Can you determine who has possession from your point of view?
Not from that angle.
That player has possession of the ball.
You can see
he's the only player there.
Look at the viewpoint of that center official. He's Moses right now. The Red Sea has parted, and all he can see is that ball in that player's hands.
He's cradling, isn't that possession?
Yeah, the coach sees he has it too.
He hears timeout. He's not looking at the coach, but he hears timeout, timeout. I'm sure he's yelling timeout right now. And then let's say the kid even goes out of bounds. Should I hold? Should I? Should the official hold his timeout grant to see if he goes out of bounds or not?
No.
In high school, that is not a rule.
Josh, do you think that the center's waiting for the lead to signal the out of bounds violation, hearing the coach calling a timeout to see if he's actually out of bounds? Or do you think he was even thinking about that at that point? Because the lead sees if he's out of bounds. He's right there. Do you think the center's waiting to see what the lead signals before he grants a timeout or doesn't?
No.
I think the center is letting the lead officiate this play.
Of course.
And as soon as he hears timeout from the coach and the lead hasn't made a call,
right,
he's granting that timeout because nothing has happened.
That's what it seems like.
Whose whistle comes first? Right?
Yeah, the lead's right on top of it.
And look at the situation. 1:06 on the clock. We have to look for timeouts.
Yeah, but it's the first period.
Look at the lead. You think he's going to call something here? Did you see his hand?
Yeah, he's starting to put his hand up.
And he puts it down because he hears the whistle, because who whistles came first. It doesn't matter whether he's out of bounds. I didn't blow my whistle. So whoever blew his whistle gets to make the ruling.
Josh, I'm coming in there so hard with the timeout. If you're going to go timeout from there, I am coming in screaming, letting the whole building know I got a timeout.
He did.
I mean, it would seem like the center hears timeout being called. He doesn't see a signal by the lead, so he calls a timeout, blows a whistle, calls a timeout.
Yeah.
That's a hustle play.
Well, the coach is right in his C's ear. So he called the timeout. That's a good call, in my opinion.
Yeah, there was no signal for out of bounds beforehand.
No.
Let's move on to the next one.
Legal.
Yeah, momentum.
All right. So now that we've had a couple of these videos, it's very easy to see that this is nothing, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He dives on the ball. He's not holding the ball when he falls to the ground. Now he gets a hold of the ball and his sliding, but his momentum is causing him to slide. So we're not going to penalize him for that. Right?
Correct.
Okay, official calls a travel on this one. Do we agree?
No.
No.
I got a foul on White.
Yeah,
I got a foul right there.
All right, hold on.
The only one I'm going to agree with Tim on.
I'm going to defend the official by saying he has the ball right here. Now, we can't see, and I know this center can't see either, but let's just say he's holding it with two hands here.
Okay, good.
Because it's getting away from him, so he grabbed it with two hands and flips over. That's a travel.
I got a foul.
Now you could say, well, his momentum did not cause him to flip on this one, I don't think.
But he's fouled before he completely flips.
All right, hold on. We'll get there. So he flips on his own.
Right. True.
Okay? That's a travel. He's not all the way to his back, but that's close enough for me. Like, you can't do that. Okay? I'm going to go travel on this. But then the white player just falls on top of him. So even if you have a travel on this, in my opinion, as humble as it may be,
oh yeah,
white caused them to lose that traveling violation by jumping on top of that player. That's a foul. You cannot. I think foul trumps violation when it's that close. Foul trumps violation every time.
If you really want to break it down, doesn't he get fouled while he's on his side? He isn't really even over here.
There's a foul right there.
You could say him putting his knee on there is probably a foul. You're probably right. All I'm saying is, no, however you want to break it down, I think that should be a foul regardless.
I wish everything happened in slow motion.
You see number 3, black in front of the referee? He wants a timeout. So, again, plays like that, even though that wasn't a held ball, but plays like that where there's a loose ball and they're diving for it, we've got to do a better job of getting the fouls. You cannot jump on another player. And again, you can say, well, they're just hustling. They're not doing anything. They're not intentionally. No, but most fouls that happen are not done intentionally. They're not trying to foul them. They're trying to get the ball. They're trying to. So that shouldn't come into play. And yes, we want the kids to be able to hustle, but again, you can't just jump on another player.
Did he roll into his right leg then? Would be my question.
Did he roll and cause him to fall on top?
No.
You're telling me he's not rolling over into a planted leg right now and taking that leg out?
You could make that argument.
I'm just saying we have the benefit of slow motion here.
That's right.
The kid is sliding. I don't necessarily agree. I would probably go with the timeout more than I would the travel call, but I don't think you call a foul on because I don't see that kid diving on top of him. I see him getting rolled into. And
but then what does he do, Mike?
I got a foul.
He's trying to catch. He's
so
trying
then
to catch himself.
So no, he's going for that ball. He's trying to swipe at that ball. I'm not saying you might be right. Maybe he got knocked down, but he's still attempting to get that ball, which now he's on top of a player. I don't know. You can call timeout and just say, Coach.
I would say somebody has a better angle on making that call than the guy who made the call. I think the guy who made the call had a very poor, the butt end of it.
So I don't agree with the travel call on that one. I think even though honestly, he technically was probably, boy, I'm putting a lot of qualifiers in there. He technically was correct because he flipped over with the ball, but there's too many other things that happened that I think timeout, foul, something else other than a travel. That's just what I saw.
But nobody else had a whistle on that play, so it was a good whistle from the center.
I think it needs a whistle regardless. Agreed. Okay. So we have a traveling call. First of all, do we agree with the traveling? Let's play it fast again so you can see it.
Very weird. Very weird.
Looks like his foot slid.
Yeah, something awkward. Where's that guy looking? The lead is just.
All right, so I got to back up just a little bit. Right now, the ball is in the Leads primary. Do we all agree with that?
Yes.
You better say yes because I've just diagrammed it for you. The lead, it has 100% primary coverage of this play. Still leads primary, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not even a question. It's totally in the leads primary. But the trail, what is the trail watching?
Probably help side defense coming in.
Let me pull this away real quick. He's got 2 players at the 3-point line and the other player emerging into the leads. He's got nothing to look at, correct?
Right.
So the trail can be watching this play in his secondary. Even though he's probably primarily watching it, it's technically his secondary coverage, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And before I move on, where is Trail standing?
Out of the picture.
Too far away.
Way too far away. He should be at least at the 28-foot mark, which I believe is the new home position according to the officials manual, 28-foot mark. But I would even say he could probably come down as far as I like to ref as much as I can at the 3-point line because it keeps you engaged in the play. Most of the players are right around the 3-point line and in. So the further we can be in, the better. Right now, he's not close to being where he should be. But he can watch this play as a secondary. Okay? The center has also got a secondary look at this because would we agree, even though we split that lane, lead, center down the middle, that paint really belongs to both of them, right? Because the line bleeds back and forth so much. So let's see, what is center looking at? Center has a player at the 3-point line and then, a possible matchup. All the players are looking at the player driving in. Agreed? Yes. So the only action really happening on the court right now is the dribbler and the defender. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the center's already looking through that way. So I think that is legitimately or could legitimately be in the center's view. And he gets it. Now, is it a travel?
See.
Think he's holding the ball right here?
I think he picked it up and his left foot slipped. He puts his right foot down and then the left foot comes down.
Okay, this is where he ends his dribble because the ball is his hand is clearly under the ball. The ball is at rest in his hand now, yes?
Yes.
I'm going to give, as I try to, I'm going to give some grace to a moving player with the ball that he's holding the ball here. All right? I'm not going to hold him to this foot here, although if that's his pivot foot. His left foot is his pivot foot by rule. But he's grabbing with 2 hands here. I think his right foot is his pivot foot.
That's what I got.
Yep.
Okay, and he touches it a couple times here. Yeah, do we see that?
Yes.
I'm passing on that.
I got nothing.
Now
across the court.
Now the question is, and I know we showed the lead and the center and the trail. I know we showed all that. But what is the lead looking at?
He's looking at the defender's butt.
He's got the whole play, does he not?
Yeah, moving with it.
From beginning to develop to end. Is he too close to the play to see the feet? No, he can see it just fine, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a play, even as center, if you think you see it, you don't call it. Because I think it was Mark Davis said, when they called out of their area in the NBA, they were wrong 90% of the time. I probably got that stat wrong, but it was a high percentage.
You don't think the lead was straight lined?
No.
To the feet? No.
Okay.
I mean, is it possible? Sure. But look how deep that lead is off the end line. That's good. He should be that deep if he can, because he is now widening his view. He can see from head to toe.
Yeah.
I think. All right. Good.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you can't come in as trail. You can't come in as center. It doesn't mean that at all, but it better be obvious to everybody in the gym that that person traveled if you're going to come in and get that, because a traveling call is not a train wreck call. That is not something that you should be crossing over into your secondary to get, in my opinion. I've seen it happen a couple times. In some gyms, the lead is so close they just can't quite get that view. So the trail's going to help out a bit. Center coming over is probably not as good, but it doesn't mean they can't get it. We just need to be over 100% sure.
Josh,
Yes, question.
Yeah. Whose responsibility for monitoring the travel? So is there ever a time when I'm on the lead, I should be looking at waist down versus shoulder or waist up?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a very simple answer.
Mm-hmm.
The officials who is in charge of their primary is in charge of traveling. Plain and simple. If you are in my primary with the ball, I'm in charge of whether you travel or not. Okay, now, can you have help? Yes, but it doesn't alleviate me from seeing and or calling traveling violation. That's my area. I'm supposed to see everything in my area. I know when they say, like, on rebounds, the lead wants to stay low and the trail in the center, they want to stay high.
Right.
Agreed. But at the same time, if I'm the lead on a rebound and a kid runs into him and smacks him in the arms right in front of me and it's up high, I should see that. I shouldn't pass on that and say, oh, coach, I was looking low. Right? We are responsible for everyone in our primary. We can help each other out, knowing that the lead may not have as good a view, might be too close, so they're not going to see up high. That's why they're talking on rebounds. The center and the trail stay high and the lead stays low, because generally they're so close, they're not going to get this stuff up here. That's why they say it, but they're not saying you don't need to call it because that's not your area. It is your area. It's your primary.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It felt like a rant. Was that a rant?
Well, I agree with that. Hang on, I had to unmute it and take the video on. I agree with that, Josh, because I feel like when people get out of the area and call travel from really far away out of their primary, I feel like it looks really bad. That's just my opinion. I mean, granted, that video, that C kind of had a good look at it. You know what I mean? It wasn't exactly in his primary spot area, but I agree 110% with what you're saying. Where if you have someone calls travel from really far away, it just looks bad. That's just my opinion.
Well, I agree, and I've had arguments with other officials where a trail comes in and gets the travel, and they've said, "Oh, that's good. They need to get that because the lead needs help with the feet on that one." And I say, shame on the lead for not officiating their whole play. Yeah. I agree with you. Usually, it looks bad, and unless it is so obvious to everybody, I'm not getting it. Again,
even then though, so let's build off that then. Okay, so let's say you have an obvious one, you're like 40 feet away, you're still gonna come get it?
Maybe. If it's really bad and the whole gym thinks it's a travel, yeah, because my partner may have missed it because they were looking at something else.
Okay.
But unfortunately in officiating, that's what we have to think about all the time.
Right.
Did my partner miss it? Did he get it? Why didn't he call it? Holy cow, everybody else saw it. I better get that, or we as a crew are going to look terrible. Because when you have a terrible, terrible travel and nobody calls it, and you can say, well, it was his area, he must have passed on it for a reason, you all look bad. Yeah. Do we agree with that?
Yes. Yeah. What we saw was an SOA call. That was not a good call.
Hey, Josh, I know in my world we do two-man officiating. I know a lot of these plays are three-man officiating, but with a two-man officiating game, do you think it's even more important with the trail seeing a travel that the lead might not get, as opposed to having a three-man officiating game?
Yeah, so I forget honestly that there's a lot of places in the country that just don't have 3-person officials. They don't have enough officials, or they don't have enough money, or whatever it is. They do a 2-person. So I think it's a good rule of thumb that in a 2-person game, you're probably coming to help more often than you would in a 3-person game, because there's more area to cover. To see 10 players with 2 people is harder than to see 10 players with 3 people, right?
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I still would be careful about coming out of your area into your partner's area to get something that you think is obvious. When I say obvious, I mean the crowd groans. Everyone groans that it was a travel, and not, oh my goodness, that was so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, be sure, and then even ask yourself, should I? Because especially in 2-person, when you're even further apart on the court, you better come in and sell it hard.
Okay.
Typically in 3-man, I'm going to pregame this as well about kind of staying in your area. And I think, it's one thing if you get a foul that's not in front of you, like that's probably more like allowed, but a travel from really far away, I'll give you 1, but then the second one is like, what are you doing reaching?
Agreed. A travel is not a train wreck.
Right. Well, there, you just said it. Yeah.
Yeah. We generally, when you're coming out of your area, you want to get the train wreck. All right, let's do a bonus play.
Stay in your primary, Frank.
Let's do a bonus play.
Thanks, Tim.
This might not be a bonus play, but this is still traveling. Ready? Good dunk, right?
Ooh.
He traveled, didn't he?
I had this exact play in my camp, and I passed on it.
Pivot foot, 1,
Step.
2.
I'm glad you brought this up, because this happens a lot more often than you think. When guys are wide open like this, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a dunk and it's just a layup, they're wide open.
Uh-huh.
So what are we doing here? Are we getting that travel?
Passing.
I hope everybody passes on
I'm
this.
passing on that.
I love that answer because I passed on it.
Because now I'm going to probably get skewed over the coals on YouTube, but yes, that is a travel, 100%. But what is the intent and purpose of the rule? There was nobody around. The kid was going to make a dunk to kind of give a show to everybody. Let him have the easy bucket. If he takes one extra step, 1, 2, 3, 4, that makes it even worse. Okay, maybe come in and get that. But these kids, to your point, Frank, in a layup, a lot of times they do the same thing, the same motion.
That's what happened. He took 3 steps in a wide open layup. He was like almost cherry picking. They threw it to him quick outlet, 3 steps, and I got people yelling travel. And in my head, I'm like, it is, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm glad you brought that up. I really am.
All right, that can't count as a bonus. Let me do one more. Let's try this one. Did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
What does he do?
He
Pick
sets
up the
an
ball.
illegal screen.
That too.
Did he travel before he put the ball on the floor?
He picked it up, didn't he?
Well, okay, you could say, was that a carry?
You take it from the top, Josh? Let me say that again.
Wow, that's probably a carry too.
Turned it around.
Okay, so if we watch 2, let's do this one first. We watch 2, and he cups the ball
There and all the way around.
and goes the other way. That's a carry, but
Yeah.
again, is it worth calling? I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
I get it.
But let's talk about that screen.
Yeah, that's what I got. Bad screen.
Okay, so it looks like player number whatever he is starts to cut down to the end line and is teammate sets a screen for him.
Very wide.
Very wide, and he sticks his shoulder.
And he throws his shoulder, yeah.
Right?
And extends the arm.
Causes contact, and he totally gets free. But does anything happen?
Yeah, the center's watching the ball.
Do we get that, or do we wait to see if that develops into a pass to that player? Does that make sense?
Yes.
That screen's 100% illegal.
Yep.
But it did absolutely nothing to the play. So is that good to pass on, or are we getting that regardless?
I'm going to pass on it, but I'm going to talk to the player afterwards if I saw it.
That's a good pass.
It's if you watch it real time, the contact is slight. He definitely causes contact, but look at the effect on the player. I mean, it did what it was supposed to do, and I'm not saying it's not illegal, but the ball didn't go to his teammate, and it wasn't like he was knocked out of bounds. I think this is a wait and see. He gets the ball right there. I'm going boop boop. Illegal screen.
If it was on White's end of the floor, though, you'd have heard it right away.
If you get,
you would have. I mean, that other coach would have been right on top of it, and he would have said, "What the?"
If you get this, you're not wrong.
Right.
Right.
Now again, I haven't talked about this all evening. But the context of this play, we don't know. It looks like, is that 7:31 or 1:31? It looks like 7:31.
Third period.
So the third period just started. Second half just started.
Yep.
I don't know how they called that first. Have they had a lot of these that they've passed on? Yeah. If they have, then it's easy. If it's been a really clean game and this is the first one that really, happened, that might be an easy get. For those that aren't from the Chicago area, these are two very physical teams. Mm-hmm. So this is the Chicago Catholic League, and they like to play and they like to bang, and this is what me and my buddy say is big boy basketball. All right, so I'm not calling anything. However, I stick with, if you let the play develop and you see that ball goes to that player, he continues on, you can 100% get this 3-4 seconds late. Boop, nope, illegal screen, coach, you got him up here. He got free because of this. I don't think you're going to get any grief if you do it that way.
What do you do about the coach that's 3 steps onto the floor?
You mean at the division line?
Nothing.
Let's talk about that real quick because I'm assuming this isn't, I'm thinking of the word, specific. I'm assuming this doesn't just happen in Chicago, but in Chicago there are a lot of coaches that like to coach way out of the coach's box. Doesn't make it right. It's wrong. But what do we do about this? Do you think the center can say something?
No.
Yes.
He better not.
Right now.
He's watching the play. He better not see that coach is out there.
When you're running back, you're running into him. That's what I'm saying. So not at this moment for sure.
He'll get out of the way. He always does. The center or the trail might see it. Are you going to stop play and assess a technical foul for this? If you're the trail and you see this across the floor?
Of course not.
If he's barking a lot, I'll give him a warning. So that
barking at whom?
Look, if he's like going crazy, he's talking a lot, like just coaching, officiating, being a fourth official from there, then I'm definitely going to give him a warning. So it's in the book.
So if he's acting like an official, agreed. Plus, again, we don't know the context of the first half, but if he's acting like an official, then it needs to be addressed, whether it's a technical foul or a warning or a talk to, depending on what we've done at this point. I guarantee you he's been on the floor all night long like this. But if he's coaching his kids, he's gaining an advantage by coaching his kids closer. So do we still address it or do we let it go?
Yeah, you can address it.
What do you all think? Because the philosophies on this are all over the place. I personally believe, as long as he's not in my way and he's not yelling at me, I don't care. I'm not looking to see if the coach is out of the box. I'm just not looking for it. So I'm not going to really, I know he's there, but I'm not looking to see if he's there. Does that make sense?
This was a point of emphasis a few years ago. As soon as the ball goes through the basket, you stop playing, you issue a direct technical foul, and that's that. That's that.
Okay, Frank.
It was a point of emphasis, was it not?
You know what, Frank? I don't know if you're saying it in jest or not, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to walk him back. Coach, stay in your box. I'm going to walk him back again. Coach, you got to help me out. I'm going to walk him back again. I'm going to walk him back as many times as I can walk him back. If it gets to be like an issue where it's really starting to annoy me, Coach, if you can't stay in your box, I've asked you, so many times, if you can't stay in your box, I'm going to have to give you a warning or a technical foul or something. I'm going to give them that upfront notice so they know when I do it, they're not surprised. They're still not going to be happy, but they're not going to be surprised that I did it. But I'm going to give them, I'm not kidding, 3, 4, 5 chances because, again, I'm not looking for that. I don't want to interrupt the game with that. But if they get to that point where they're annoying me or they're in my way or whatever, then, yeah, we have to do something.
I was doing a 2-man game, and this exact situation occurred, and my partner whacked the coach like within the first 2 minutes, and it just didn't go well.
It didn't go well, and
It really didn't go well at all. I was like, oh, come on, give him a chance.
And that's because, again, unfortunately, there are some of us who don't know how to handle conflict. So they're giving a technical foul over nothing, even though in their mind it's over something. And then you have another official who lets them yell at you so badly and they do nothing, right? So there's no, how do you make that consistent? I don't know. But I'm not going to tee up a coach when I know they're just being frustrated, right? We should really use common sense when addressing that. And that's what I'm saying is if you walk them back. Most of the time if you say, Coach, you got to get in your box. Coach, help me out. Most of the coaches are like, oh, yeah, sorry. They're emotional. They're just into the game. They're not doing it out of malice or to get an advantage. They're just into the game. Next month, we are going to talk about block charge. My favorite topic. Legal guarding position, secondary defenders. What else goes with block charge?
Blarge.
Maybe even some blarges. I'll try and find some blarges. But we haven't talked about it in a while. And there is a huge difference between college and high school and what is considered a block or a charge. And I think we need to talk about that because most people, when they watch basketball, are watching college ball or NBA, right? And so they don't understand when they get to a high school game why we're calling charges and not blocks, because it's block in college, but it's not in high school because the rule is very different. So come back next month. Hopefully we can make it a fun meeting. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks, Josh.
Did we learn anything today on traveling, or was it?
It was good. It was good. A lot of good plays.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks for your work. Appreciate you putting this together.
Thanks, Josh.
All right. Good night, guys.
Later.